Well, joining us now is Lisa Cotter, who has revealed the gift, Living the Feminine Genius. Lisa, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you all this morning? You sound wonderful.
We're doing great. So in full disclosure, as we talk about this, I grew up in a house filled with women because I had 4 sisters and no brothers.
So. Wow, blessed were you among women.
Yeah.
He has a bit of the feminine genius. I think he's assimilated it.
I would say no. I would like to, but I would say no. Hey, what made you decide to write this book, Lisa?
You know, years ago, we were Focus missionaries for 11 years, and I was given an invitation in 2010 to give a talk to all the women at the upcoming Seek conference on authentic Catholic femininity. And I remember thinking, I have no idea what I would say. The idea of it was like, oh my gosh, it was one of those things where honestly, I felt like I was kind of failing at it. I didn't really know what this was supposed to look like. I kind of had heard some things the church said, but I was honestly a little bit afraid of what the church said authentic Catholic femininity looked like. And so I really hesitated, but here was this opportunity, and I felt like God wanted me to dive into this. And so I started researching, started reading, started looking, and I was so surprised at what Pope St. John Paul II had to say about femininity, things I had never heard before, things I had never taken the time to try to understand before. And so I gave that first talk and just felt really inspired, really felt as if the world needed more of this. Women needed more of this understanding of the gift of their femininity, the gift of who they are as women. And so for years I sat on it. And then a couple years ago, the Holy Spirit said, now's the time, write the book. So here the book is, right in the middle of kind of this chaotic time in the world, but I hope that it's a book that brings hope to women. That's really what I hope the book does, is give some hope about the gift of who they are, the purpose, their nature, and how beautiful that is and what they bring to the world living from that.
Well, Lisa, we could all use a little bit of hope these days, and so thank you for writing the book. And I recall when Pope St. John Paul II wrote that letter about feminine genius. What were the key points in that letter that inspired you as you wrote the book?
Yeah. So there's like kind of 2 big documents, that letter to women that he wrote back in, I think it was 1995. And then also in 1988, he wrote Mulieris Dignitatem. And so throughout those 2 documents is where he spoke a lot about the feminine genius. And then you also heard him on his Wednesday audience as well, really talking about this concept. And I think what really spoke to me is this idea that women see people as people. We see people with our hearts. And so we bring into the world this care for the world that is unique, that is person-oriented and very much needed. So he said this feminine genius is vitally essential. And I remember reading that and thinking, okay, well, if it's vitally essential, I should probably understand it a little bit better. And so just seeing the way in which he honored the gifts that women bring into the world, which maybe aren't always as moving the needle forward. You know, they're not as clear cut. You can't quite see like the progress that's being made with the gifts that women bring into the world, but you see the importance of it and the way that we have this way of mothering the world, this beautiful way of mothering the world, whether that be physically or spiritually. John Paul II talking about that a lot. That really spoke to me as well, the idea that we as women have this gift of maternity that the world needs, where we help people to grow and become who they were made to be, who they were created to be. And so there were many of these different facets that just kept coming up in these letters that really spoke to me and inspired me.
I think your book is so important, Lisa, today, especially talking about unique gifts, because in this world, we have some who would say, well, we don't want to say man, we don't want to say women, we want to say people. But there is a difference, and it's beautiful that there is, because if you have a canvas that's just one color, it's not unique, it's not diverse. We need a canvas that is very diverse, so there is a man and there is a woman.
Yes, John Paul II talked a lot about complementarity, this idea that the genders complement each other. It's not that they're in competition with each other. It's not like, oh, well, that's a man thing and that's a woman thing. And I think even that gets a little confused when people are trying to understand the differences in genders. They're complementary. They go together. I can't understand who I am without understanding who men are, and vice versa. We help each other to understand humanity a bit better. And I think that's an amazing piece that also spoke to me as I was reading John Paul II's work.
Lisa, unlike Jay, I grew up in a house predominantly of guys, but I have one sister, Nancy. She happens to live in Evergreen, Colorado. And she's a mother of 7 kids and a wonderful mother at that. If you ever had the chance to meet her, which I would hope would happen someday. How would you encourage her out of your book? How would you, I guess, look at her life and her maternity and the way that she's raised her kids and encourage her in that, I guess?
Yes, I think it sounds like she's a very seasoned mom if she has 7 kids. So that's wonderful. That's so wonderful, the gift that she brings. I think I would encourage her in that the work that she is doing is the most important work that can be done in the care of human souls. Everything else in this world is going to fade away one day, all the stuff, all the things, all of the buildings we build, but souls endure forever. And what an amazing thing to think about that, our immortality, and that she is helping to bring about human life and nourishing and growing that life and these souls that are created to live forever, and the impact that she's making in her mothering. I'm sure she's also done many other wonderful things to contribute to the world, of course, and John Paul II would very much uphold that women bring so much to all spheres of society. But as a mother in particular, what she's bringing is the most important thing she can bring, is that care of a soul.
Well, Lisa, we thank you so much for being with us. Reveal the Gift, Living the Feminine Genius is the book. Where can people get a copy? AscensionPress.com/revealthegift. Well, thank you very much for being with us all the way from Denver, Colorado, which Bishop and I both love. Have a great day.
Thank you. You
Bye,
too.
Lisa. God bless.